Hey guys, today we're going to be watching Los Angeles High-Speed Chase, February 23rd, 2015, 135 mph pursuit. So we're going to start with that. Before we start this video, we're going to read we're going to read that description on that YouTube channel as well. And his name is Sean Christopher Druschel, 33, of Palmdale, was arrested, booked on felony evasion charges. This pursuit began at about 5:07 p.m. They spotted Druschel driving recklessly near Satakoy Street and Topanga Canyon and Northridge. This guy is going out of control on that high-speed chase. Let's watch it now. Let's do it. Vlog, bam, round. Let's play it around. Bam! Let's watch it now.
Good afternoon, 24 past the 5 o'clock hour. Micah Ullman with Cher Calvin. We want to bring you live coverage of this police pursuit that started in the San Fernando Valley. LAPD pursuing this individual in this, we believe to be a Ford F-150 pickup truck, wanted for possible felony hit and run in the Topanga Division area. And this suspect then went northbound in the valley and ended up on the 118 freeway for a time and has found himself now in Simi Valley.
Yeah, he's here on surface streets, as you can see. And again, that felony hit and run suspect possibly hit on Nordoff and
Get into
Corbin.
it. Let's listen now. Let's watch it now.
Tim Lynn and Sky 5 right now. Tim.
Well, this guy is out of control here, just blasted through traffic, trying to ram his way through stop traffic. You see here, off at Sycamore, off the 118 here, and now working his way back onto the west side of the, south side of the 118, back getting onto the eastbound 118. As you see him coming around here, he's just really high rate of speed, blasting through traffic. We saw him ram two other vehicles out of the way as he came off at Sycamore to get through that intersection, and now made a couple turns and got back on the freeway here, heading eastbound on the 118 from Sycamore. But really a very dangerous high-speed pursuit. LAPD has been chasing him for quite a while. They have an air unit overhead. They've gone into surveillance mode.
And they've been chasing him for quite a while since the pursuit started around 5:07 p.m. this evening. And it started just 2 hours ago. I should say 2 hours ago it started. 2 hours later and 7 hours ago, 7 hours later it started, and it's been going on for quite a while now. And it's been going on for quite a while as well, It's going on for just quite a while as well. The charges his name is Druschel. His name is Sean Christopher Druschel. He's 33 years old. He's booked on felony charges during the pursuit. Flying alone. He's a pushy troublemaker, and he is a troublemaker. He's pushing himself. He's a pushy driver. He's being pushy and a driver. He's pushy and he's a bit pushy. Trying to push himself and ram all the vehicles flying through 118 Sycamore freeway and getting onto that. And they called, and when the pursuit with multiple crashes in Simi Valley, when it started 2 hours ago, 7 hours ago, or I should say at least 90 minutes or so, 80 minutes or 156 minutes, that's a long time. In about 20 minutes, or maybe pursuit started 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, or in 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, and 20 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 55 minutes, 60, 55 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes as well, and yeah, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, 60 minutes, 50 minutes, 50 minutes, 90 minutes, 40 minutes as well, and pursuit started, anything as well, and then, you know, when the pursuit as well, anything as well of that pursuit going on, and they gone into a surveillance mode. So, okay, let's listen now.
We're at the top of the Santa Pass now, coming over using the center divider. As he pushes through here, just really a little bit slowed down here as he's coming up on slower traffic and now just passing through on the center divider. You can see that he is just flying along here. Very, very dangerous pursuit. But as we come down the hill towards the Porter Ranch area, the traffic is starting to get a little bit heavier ahead of him, so we'll see what happens moving over to the Diamond Lane. So far, we haven't had any collisions on the freeway, but we did have collisions on Sycamore there just as he came off the freeway, as he jammed his way between cars. And then that felony hit and run in the valley that he is wanted for at this point. The original want on the car is not known. We don't know what started the pursuit, but during the initial part of this pursuit, he did run over or hit a few folks over here in the valley and injuring them. So that makes it a felony. Once you have injuries on a hit and run, that pushes it to the felony. Now he's also looking at felony evading as he continues on here. Now let me send it back down to you to studio for a second while I check in with Van Nuys Tower as we move into their airspace.
Thank you. We've been watching this individual fleeing police now for the better part of 30 minutes, starting in the Topanga Division.
And then he's been fleeing police for the better part of 30 minutes. Yeah, for the past 30 minutes or so, or 30 minutes, better part of 30 minutes or so since the police started his chase. 20 minutes or so, it's been going on for the past 20 minutes or so since the police started his chase, and they stayed on it the entire time, going on for around 20-25 minutes since the police started his chase again, and they stayed on it the entire time, and they are told that suspect is getting out of control of that high-speed pursuit. He was out of control during the high-speed pursuit, and he pushing his way, ramming through vehicles, and he continues to do that. Carjacking reckless and carjacking a truck. I think.
Going on for almost half an hour now.
Going on for almost half an hour now, and you think that anything. Well, we need to know when the individuals didn't get injured. Felony hit and run as well.
As you said, Micah, going over 100 miles per hour, making it a very dangerous situation for a lot of people right now on the freeway.
For the second time in recent days, a driver that is trying to get away, that is involved in a pursuit with utter and reckless disregard for others' safety, his own, obviously, by driving this way, safety is in jeopardy, but jeopardizing the safety of others as well by ramming into other cars as he tries to make his run now, and now again getting off the freeway. And Tim, if you're back with us, can you bring us up to speed on the location here as he's off the freeway, apparently in the Porter Ranch area?
That's right. He's off at Porter Ranch here, right off the 118. Made that right-hand turn, left-hand turn across the freeway, and he's working his way over the top of the 118. LAPD air unit overhead. The ground units are now coming up the off-ramp here as he goes right behind us here, turning northbound, picking up speed as he comes around, coming up to the intersection here, making a right-hand turn here, continuing now eastbound Rinaldi, just off of Porter Ranch, eastbound Rinaldi, and we're going to bring it around here so we can get him out from underneath us as we come. But as you can see here, continuing on eastbound Rinaldi, this is by the Porter Ranch Mall up here, and camera operator Tim Deck is doing a great job sticking with him here as he makes these wild turns as he comes around through the Porter Ranch area. So continuing on Rinaldi here, very high rates of speed, and now we have surface street problems, so where You're going to have cross traffic, people out in the street not expecting this car to be coming along as fast as it is. We're approaching Tampa at this point. On the brakes pretty hard there as he pushes along now onto the right-hand shoulder. Looks like we might be just pushing through a red light there, and just you see the guy almost getting hit there in his left-hand turn. And continuing now still on Rinaldi. Pushing right along at a very high rate of speed. Now we're really watching this. LAPD is also backed off just a little bit while they go into the surveillance mode, and 5 is going to move to the north side of the freeway. And as he continues on here, I'm just kind of coming along, keeping an eye on him as we can, and dealing with the air unit overhead. So we have to keep in control with the air units that are over this, as well as the other media ships that are on here. But you see, just pushed his way through to that intersection, continuing on eastbound Rinaldi. Now he's going to be coming up on some very, very heavy traffic up here. He's going to have to take the wrong side of the street. All sides are blocked here. We'll see what he does when he comes up here, coming up to this next major intersection. We'll get it for you as he approaches, but on the brakes, going to the center divider. Looks like he's going to take the center divider, left turn pockets. Traffic ahead is moving as he comes in the intersection very fast and just weaves his way through traffic, just pushing through. Nobody there knows what to do with this guy coming through a red light like that. He weaves his way around. You see a little bit as he goes away. Now he's going to go up on, he's going to be boxed in here. He's going to be boxed in. He's in the left turn pocket. He has traffic on all sides. Everybody is stopped. He's going to have to go across to opposite lanes here, pushing his way through. As he goes along, he gets through there. Unbelievable driving by this guy as he continues here eastbound Rinaldi through those intersections. People, like I said, drivers having no idea what's going on, but back on the gas here, picking up speed. And it looks like we have some light traffic ahead here, so hopefully we won't have any cross traffic. That's what we kind of watch out for as we continue on these pursuits, is that cross traffic. Those poor people that have no idea this guy is coming and is going to blow that red light. Coming up on the next intersection, he has a red light. We got traffic coming, and it looks like he's going to be able to make it through, and there he makes it through, no problem.
Now he's up.
And that was Zelza he went through right there. That was the intersection of Zelza, still eastbound on Rinaldi, working his way. This street parallels the 118 freeway on the north. Now on the wrong side of the street, center divider. Coming up on traffic here, going to be passing them on their left. These guys have no idea if they make that left-hand turn. And then on the brakes really, really hard as he makes that left-hand turn. 5's making a left-hand turn. And as he pushes there, wrong side of the street. Oh, that was very close with that oncoming traffic as he tried to push around. Now on the wrong side of the street, continuing here now northbound into a residential track. He's going to push through those cars right there, just smashing his way through. Hopefully he didn't make contact, but through the stop sign, working his way up the hill, up into the Porter Ranch area here as he continues north. Wrong side of the street, going uphill, and now into a very tight area, coming up on this white car here as he just jams his way by that white car. Man, this is unbelievable.
Oh my God, he almost hit that
guy right there as he went through the intersection, but he's on the wrong side of the street. Unbelievable how this is, but this continues up the hill into the residential track, passing people on the right. Folks just trying to get home as he blows down the wrong side of the street, coming up and around. This is hilly area, so it's an up and down area as he goes through here. So if he crests that hill, he may not see the car coming at him. He now has traffic turning out in front of him. He's going to go around to the right. He's got an oncoming car coming at him. We'll see what happens here as he whips his way back in. And then there it is, passing that car. Now coming up to a four-way stop. Cars are all stopped at that point, and here he goes up to the intersection. Through the intersection, just blows right on through. And continuing on northbound here on Nugent as he approaches this T intersection. That's going to be ahead of him.
You know, time and time again, as we watch these pursuits, we notice that a lot of the suspects like to go to areas that they're familiar with. He's been going at this now for almost half an hour, at least that's when the call came in the Porter Ranch, Simi Valley, Porter Ranch area again, through Northridge and now in Granada Hills in this residential area. And Micah, as we've been watching this, it's just shocking to see him push through some of these intersections, driving on the wrong side of the road with just absolute absolute no regard for anyone's safety, and as you also said, even for his own.
Yeah, this is really unreal. We don't, again, know what the original one is, but along the way, in the early stages of this pursuit, the suspect hit at least one pedestrian. So you have felony hit and run that's added to the growing list of charges this guy's facing. Tim, have you been able to look inside that truck? I know they've got tinted windows, and to determine how many people might be in this truck, if there's more than just the driver. We don't know at this point.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. I was dealing with the tower right there. We're right on the final for Van Nuys Airport, but we're on Balboa northbound. I might have missed your question, but really cooking along northbound Balboa, wrong side of the street. Our way back up towards the 5 freeway and continuing here, very high rate of speed, wrong side of the street, moving along here as we come along. Mike, I'm going to have to send it back to you just for a second.
Yeah,
We're
no
really
problem.
dealing with traffic up here in the air. Let me send it back to you.
Yeah, and this driver dealing with a lot of traffic as well, but it's not stopping him. He is running as though the units are right behind him, and from what we can understand, they are in more of a surveillance mode. The units last check were upwards of a mile out behind him. Of course, he's being followed by helicopters, law enforcement helicopters, which we've seen come in and out of our screen, so they're certainly aware of his location, but at this point are not pursuing him actively as far as we can tell on the ground.
And understandably so. This is so dangerous. Him driving on the other side of the road, as you're looking at right now, and just trying to make his way through, blowing through another intersection there. This now in Mission Hills. He just keeps on running. Micah, you're right. As if he has, LAPD right behind him. Well, actually,
yeah, there you see it now. Yeah, so that's something new in the last couple of minutes to see an LAPD officer right on his tail. This could be a problem for him now. Well, he seems to have no problem squeezing through and hitting other cars if that's what's necessary, which he has already done in Simi Valley. He did that on surface streets before he got back on the 118, but he seems to not want to be on the freeway for whatever reason. He spent the majority of his time on surface streets, and at this hour, that's a tough get to try and get through these streets. I mean, these are all heavily congested. People coming home from work, trying to take shortcuts into the Santa Clarita Valley, trying to get home from wherever they may be coming from their workplace. But now, I believe I heard Tim say San Fernando Road, so this is going to be a 1 or 2 lane road as he weaves his way through. Tim, are you back with us? Is he coming up now on the Newhall Pass?
Yeah, that's right. This one under the 5 freeway on San Fernando Road, northbound San Fernando Road, coming into the Newhall Pass, wrong side of the street, down the center divider, using everything he can now. This is, like you said, a 2 lane road. He's coming up to the intersection here. We'll see which way he goes here, straight through, and we'll see where he pops out on the other side. This kind of goes underneath. I don't know if this goes back up on the freeway or picks up the old Newhall Ranch Road, but we'll see.
Yeah,
he's on Sierra Highways. He punches underneath underneath the freeways
here.
See where he pops up there. He pops up right there. As he
Highway.
pushes away, looks like he's going to get back on the 5 freeway.
Looks like
as he goes along here, passing traffic, and I'm looking out the. Trying to find him out the windows here as he comes along. Oh, that guy's 4, and continues up here northbound along the freeway, and just really pushing along here in the. Newhall Pass. So let's see where he's going to come from here.
There's no
right
cops
now, we're just
right
kind of
behind
pushing
him. Now.
Okay, I'm getting directions from everybody up here on climbing. We're climbing up now to get into this as he pushes along. Michael, let me send it back to you just for a second.
You got it, Tim. Thanks. And we're understanding now from LAPD that this individual is not actually responsible for the hit and run that we've been talking about. They believe that there's another suspect involved in that hit and run in the valley, but this individual is still clearly facing a long list of charges, and we did see him, in fact, run into several other cars on the surface streets in Simi Valley once we were over this and on the air. So we know at the very least he's wanted for felony evading and colliding with other vehicles along the way.
From what we understand now, this coming into our newsroom, and from the scanners that we're getting this information, that there are 2 male suspects in this car right now, 2 male Hispanics that are in this car right now. That's what we understand. Mike, I can't even believe how this guy is going right now, trying to just get away. It is incredible to see him try and just go at these speeds on the surface streets now on the freeway, and just pushing his way through. It's got to be frightening for all of those drivers that are driving near him and seeing him pass by, because it's just reckless.
North of 100 miles an hour, and he's been really willing to go on the shoulder and has been. And again, now getting off the freeway at Newhall Avenue. And I would have to think this is off the 14 freeway. I know there's not a Newhall Avenue exit off the 5, and we're having a hard time with the location without Tim and the tight shot, but my guess is this is the 14 freeway. And Tim, maybe you can help me on that.
Going back on the 5 from what I understand.
Yeah, that was my fault there. He got into the interchange there, and I was trying to stay with him on the camera and watch the helicopters around. He picked up the eastbound or northbound 14. He got off at Newhall and now got right back on. You saw him go up there. There's a park and ride that's up there. He couldn't go any further, so now he's back on the eastbound 14 freeway as he comes down the ramp here, just really pushing through traffic, and now over to the center divider lane. Now, this is could be a very high speed up in here. This is a wide open freeway, but there's a lot of commuters out here right now as we go along. It's been a real wild pursuit. When he gets into those interchanges, it's kind of hard to figure out where he's going to pop out, but Tim Deckett doing a great job staying with him on camera and then picking him back up here with the CHP down involved in this now. There is a CHP car behind him by about a quarter mile, and he's just sitting there on the center divider, really picking up speed as we climb the hill here coming into Santa Clarita area, and also the area that's going to continue on. This is
Yeah, he's heading north. He's headed towards Soledad Canyon, beyond that Sand Canyon, and if you really want to look out farther than that, he's frankly headed toward Palmdale. As you've mentioned, on that 14 northbound into Palmdale, into the Antelope Valley, but that's where this thing is headed, and he appears to want to continue northbound. He tried to get off the freeway at Newhall Avenue and jumped right back on. Obviously, you can't read the mind of somebody like this, but if you look at his behavior at this point, he's headed toward Acton and beyond that to Palmdale, heading in excess of 100 miles an hour on the shoulder of the freeway primarily. And again, the 14 northbound as he blows right through the eastern portion of the Santa Clarita Valley and heads on beyond that. It looked like Crown Valley Parkway there, so he's most certainly in the Santa Clarita Valley area and is rapidly approaching Sand Canyon and Acton beyond that.
Again, CHP has now taken over this pursuit, and LAPD has backed off, but they are still in pursuit of this suspect. And again, we just want to reiterate about the hit and run. That is another situation. It's not related to this pursuit, from what we understand. And Tim, what does it look like ahead for him? It looks like it's pretty wide open.
Yeah, it is pretty wide open until we come up to Sand Canyon. As we make this bend that he's going through right now, the traffic's going to come to a stop as he comes back around to the right, and that Sand Canyon is the off-ramp there, and it generally backs up in this area every evening, but he's on, you can see the right shoulder here, and as he comes around this corner, he's going to start encountering really heavy traffic. Traffic is stopped all across all lanes to a point here, and we'll see what he does when he gets there, but yeah, he's really flying along here, pushing his way along, using that right shoulder most of the time, sometimes the center divider, but man, he is just flying, and this is going to take us up here into Canyon Country, all the way up into Acton area, but the next major off-ramp he comes to is going to be, you see him just blowing down the right-hand shoulder here, just whipping along. CHP has got one unit behind him at about, I'd say, 300-400 yards, staying with the pursuit. LAPD is also trailing back behind, about a mile back. LAPD has now 2 helicopters overhead. I'm sure the first helicopter might be dealing with a fuel issue, so they'll do the handoff of that. But he's coming up to the Sand Canyon off. You see right there, it's a gore point for the Sand Canyon off. We'll see if it looks like he's going to continue northbound 14 underneath the Sand Canyon at this point as he goes along, and really high rates of speed, passing people on the right, and now he's joining traffic coming on. Luckily there's nobody there coming on that ramp as he blows along using that right-hand shoulder. And as I look up ahead, Cher, it's pretty wide open. Traffic is pretty well spread out as we push along here, and he's just using that right-hand shoulder, and hopefully nobody sees a police car and then also automatically pulls right like you should, because you're going to have this guy right on your rear bumper.
Welcome back.
But
Okay.
he's really pushing his pickup truck to its limits as we climb the hill here.
As they climb the hill
now the
there.
Acton area, using that right shoulder.
He's in the
excess of
right
100
shoulder.
miles an hour. I can tell you, I'm at 110 knots here in Sky 5, and I'm barely keeping up with him. So that's probably right around 115, 120 miles an hour on the ground. It's a very high-speed pursuit. CHP is now in the lead of it, along with LAPD helicopters.
Along with the
over here assisting
LAPD
CHP.
helicopters.
Coming up to Soledad.
Coming up
will
to
be the next
Soledad.
stop, and he's coming up to that off
He's
ramp.
coming
We'll
up
see what
to
he
that
does,
as
moving
well.
back out
Anything
into the
as well.
lanes. It looks like he's going
Okay, he's
all the
coming
way
up to
over to
Soledad.
the carpool lane,
He's
pushing
in
his
the
way
carpool
through
lane.
there.
Pushes
He uses the
his
carpool
way
lane,
through.
the center shoulder,
This
center
center,
aisle here
center
as he
shoulder.
pushes along, getting by the traffic, the slower
Long
traffic.
getting by
But
that
it's pretty well spread
traffic.
out. A lot of crazy
A lot of
driving
craziness.
here as he makes the
The
lane changes,
driver
as we
is
talked
also as
earlier.
well to be
Yeah,
on.
the pickup truck is not
These
quite
pickup
that
truck-
stable with that light rear end.
Light
And if he
rear-
really
light
starts
rear-
whipping
light
it around,
rear
it can very
end.
easily spin out and go into
totally
other vehicles or the
spun
center
out.
line or over the side. Up in this area, there is parts of this freeway, the
Let's
14,
listen now.
that has very sharp drop-offs on either side of the freeway, just blowing right by that white pickup truck, holding that center divider, using also the number one lane, the carpool lane, as he goes along. But yeah, we have to watch for that now because there's, like I said, big canyons up here, drop off on either side of the freeway. And should he lose control or cause other people to lose control by his driving, we could have a real serious situation up here. But he's really keeping up the speed, not really giving any indication that he's going to try to get off the freeway or push, but he's just back and forth between the fast lane and slow lane, using the center divider as well as his shoulders. And as we continue on here up over the hill, this is going to start dropping us down into the Acton proper area, and LAPD up overhead. Now LA County Sheriff's helicopter is here as well, but they're staying off to the side monitoring because now we're into their jurisdiction. They're in their jurisdiction, so they're going to be advising their ground units where this pursuit is to help out if it should get off the freeway at any point, and to be able to corner this guy if he bails out of his car. But this truck has really taken a beating during this pursuit. I'm surprised it's still going with all the damage he's done to it, running into people, hitting things as he went along. But it seems to be on all four tires, and we don't see any smoking or any swerving that we normally see in these pursuits. But going to this type of thing, dealing with pursuits as a police officer, you really got to hold your emotions as you push along, trying to stay up with this guy. Keep an eye on
gotta
him.
really, you gotta really hold your emotions. Excuse me, to push on as well. When he's a bit pushy as well, he seems to be slowing down a bit. Anything as well. When you guys know because of that. Anything that when it comes to real life, destructive stuff like police chase, history, and videos and anything as well. Police chase. Don't do it. Don't do this in real life. Never drive recklessly. Never run a red light, or never drink rob a store, or do not run over people. You do, you go to jail and be sent 20 years. And earlier we were watching a March 30th, 2015 Houston police chase video. Earlier today, there were so many people taking pictures with their cell phones, posting it on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, hashtag Snapchat, anything that's unacceptable, like unacceptable.
Pushing up over the hill, he's starting to slow down.
Starts to slow down. There's a CHP right behind him.
Car right behind him. He kind of just stomped on the brakes for a second. There's nothing in front of him. No reason for him to do that.
Okay. There was no reason for him to do that as well. Let's listen now.
New officers that get in their very first pursuits, they'll get right on the guy, and then the guy will brake check them. They'll slam into the back of them, set off that airbag in the police car, and it's very difficult to drive a car with the airbag deployed in your lap. So that's one of the methods that bad guys will use to try to disable cars behind him. But that CHP officer sticking with his training, doing a very good job staying off of him, letting the air unit overhead deal with this.
All right, we just lost Tim Lynn's feed right there. Again, we've been following this now for almost half an hour here on the air, but this has been going on, Micah, since 5:07 is when that call came in. Just been watching there, that suspect, possibly another person in the car, going over 100 miles per hour and doing nothing to stop it all. He's
running into other cars on surface streets, starting in the Topanga division,
Started in Topanga division, and it's been going on about 5:07 p.m. this evening. After the call came in about 20 minutes ago. After the call came in around 15-20 minutes ago. Hey, Aunt Ashley. Let's just say hi to Auntie Ashley. Okay, let's listen now.
Actually, this is a video that we have from earlier. We're still trying to reestablish that shot with Tim Lynn right now. Again, this is from earlier where you can see the suspect just going so fast and blowing through, passing through all these cars. And as you were mentioning, we also had a point when he was on surface streets, Micah, and he was also going on the opposite direction, on the other side of the road, against traffic, and doing whatever he could to make sure he wasn't going to be stopped by the rush hour traffic that was there in front of him.
countless intersections he blew through at a very high rate of speed, driving again on the shoulder primarily. And we are back live now. We have the signal. Tim, we're back on the air in the Agua Dulce area, northbound 14, heading toward Palmdale, and his options at this point are limited. You have canyon roads if he decides to get off the freeway. The only thing he might do is get back on and head back in towards Santa Clarita. But this guy seems determined to head toward Palmdale at this point. And it's been off and on traffic through the Sand Canyon area, through Soledad Canyon, and now Agua Dulce. Tim, you're back with us on the air.
Yeah, that's right. He's been doing a really strange thing just as we prepared and lost signal. He's doing a brake check. Every time that CHP officer gets anywhere near him, he does a brake check on him, slams on his brake for no reason at all. Escondido Canyon as we continue over that hill. That's a little summit right there. Now we're going to start heading downhill again. But every time that CHP officer gets up too close to him, he just gets on the brakes really hard and backs that CHP officer off. And now that officer has stayed back probably a good 300 yards now. But he got real close to him at one point when traffic slowed down, and then he just stepped on the brakes very, very hard. And I don't know if it made it out, but that's a maneuver that some guys will use. They'll get that police car up close, they'll slam on the brakes, cause a little bit of a bumper tag in the back, will set off the airbag on that police unit, and then make it very hard for that officer to continue in the pursuit with the airbag deployed in his lap. So that's one thing they duty is, that's one thing that you train for, to make sure that you don't get missile lockers or tunnel vision on that back end of that car, because if you're too close, they'll do something like that to you. And this guy obviously shows that he has the wherewithal to do that. But now we're coming down the hill, working our way through the still in the Acton area, northbound 14 freeway, coming up to Sierra Highway is the next major he's going to go under. Then we'll start that climb up for the pass going into Palmdale. And then all these folks here, he's going to come up with some heavy traffic here as we pass Sierra Highway. It's starting to slow down as you start that climb.
Sorry.
Pass going into Palmdale. And then all these folks here, he's going to come up with some heavy traffic here as we pass Sierra Highway. It's starting to slow down as you start that climb. And he's going to continue on here using that center divider as he pushes along. But right now it looks like he has clear flying if he stays in that center divider area. Traffic is slowing down as you pass through here because it's a pretty good uphill climb going up the hill towards Palmdale. And as he holds that center divider, just zipping by cars on their left-hand side, hopefully that car will start, the truck will start losing performance here because he's really been abusing it during this pursuit, and hopefully either run out of gas or just basically wear the car out by overheating or losing engine oil of that sort. But he's been very lucky not to take out any tires. He's on all four right now. We don't see any smoke or sparks coming out of the back as he pushes along on that center divider. As I'd say, that's a very dirty part of the freeway. All of the debris gets into there, and he's probably tossing that up as he goes along. Up the hill here, CHP is now kind of closing the gap just a bit as he slows down going up the hill, and you'll see it if they get any close to him, he'll slam on his brakes and keep them from staying on him. So as we come over the top of the hill, we're going to hit a little valley here and then start that climb again, going up over this is what? Passing Crown Valley.
Okay, let me stop right. Let me explain to you. Okay, so when there's police chase video in history, when I uploaded it, and many people were recording with their cell phones, posting it on social media. So anyway, that is the end of that suspect in Houston. They led them on a 45-minute chase. So they were close to 45 minutes. And his name is McNova. He's 41 years old. We uploaded a Houston police chase video earlier today as well. And anyway, let's get back to it. Could you show that truck? Okay.
As he continues through the sheriff's jurisdiction here in Acton, and then up ahead, he'll be into Palmdale.
Boy, Tim, this is a dangerous stretch of road as he gets closer to Palmdale and starts going down that hill. It is an area that is prone to very high crosswinds. And being in a truck like he is, the stability is not what you'd want it to be when you're going 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. So something to watch for, and what we've seen at this point to be moderate traffic, although on the shoulder, of course, there's nobody, and that's where he kind of seems comfortable, just ripping along. And, something to think about, as Tim mentioned, the debris that collects on the side of the freeway. He's going to have those obstacles. Some of them he'll see, some of them he likely won't. But again, we believe 2 suspects in this car. Reckless driving. This has been going since 7 past the 5 o'clock hour in the San Fernando Valley and has made its way through the Simi Valley and then back north through the Newhall Pass, through Acton, through Agua Dulce, through Santa Clarita, and now making its way toward Palmdale on the very busy 14 freeway as we approach the dark.
As we approach the dark, and as you just saw there, you saw the spotlight from the helicopters trying to keep an eye on him. This going on for nearly an hour is when the phone call came in. And, just watching this over and over, you see him just speeding up and just having no regard whatsoever. It's quite frightening. At least now that he's on the freeway, and on the shoulder. Dangerous still nonetheless, but a lot better than what we saw on those surface streets when he was driving on the wrong side of the road and just trying to make through and nearly hitting cars. And just the fact that this car is still going at this point, after what the car has been through physically since we've been on the air, I'm surprised that it can still be going at this rate of speed and for this long.
Yeah, this driver is out to get away in a very serious way and running into other cars along the way, doing very similar to what we saw several days ago with that suspect, Aaron Lorta, who led police on a wild pursuit similar to this one. He hit many more cars than this suspect has. This is far from over. This individual going on the 14 freeway, headed toward Palmdale, and he seems comfortable on the shoulder, whether it's the left shoulder or the right shoulder. The road appears slick at this point. Tim, are you encountering rain?
Not yet. No, Michael, we're not counting any rain, but you see the ground is a little bit wet there. There is a very large cloud that we're flying on the edge of, so it may have just passed through here as we've had these scattered showers come through the area. But now he's coming downhill, coming into Palmdale, proper area as he comes around, passing these cars on the right. You can see the water reflecting off the ground there. So it's very, very wet down there. So that's one thing we're going to have to deal with these folks coming through here. It's going to be now coming downhill, high rates of speed, pushing through down into Palmdale. We'll get a cross street for you here in a second as we push. You see him using that right-hand shoulder, like you said, very comfortable with that shoulder. And actually, okay, now he's pulling over to cross.
And Tim, we want to interrupt at this point just for a brief moment and let the viewers know they're watching the KTLA 5 News at 6. Micah Ullman with Cher Calvin. We've been on the air for more than 30 minutes now following this pursuit suspect as he's made his way from the San Fernando Valley to the Simi Valley, back through the Newhall Pass, north on the 14, and he's headed toward Palmdale at this point. We've been watching it live. He's hit several cars on surface streets in the Simi Valley area.
Okay, they've been on the air for the past 30 minutes or so, as well. What's this now?
Primarily by the LAPD for the first many minutes of this chase. The CHP has since taken over with the Sheriff's Department jurisdiction now in play. I believe the CHP is still behind him. Tim Lynn is in Sky 5. Tim.
That's right. See,
has control of the pursuit. LAPD has their helicopter overhead assisting, and LA County Sheriff is here as well with their helicopter, but they're staying away, just monitoring this pursuit and updating their Antelope Valley office of where this pursuit is. And he's coming down the hill. He went through Spruce, coming down into the flatlands of the Antelope Valley. As we come down the hill here, he's just blasting by people on that left shoulder here, using that center divider. That's the LAPD helicopter light you see. There's one CHP helicopter behind him in the white car, and he continues down the hill here, and it's going to be a little bit of traffic ahead of him as folks are now getting down into the valley where people are getting off the freeway at their normal stops, and it slows the traffic down just a little bit. But
all right, we are getting Tim Lynn's signal cutting in and out, so just bear with us. We're also going to show you some video from earlier of what this chase has been like for nearly now an hour. We're back live now with Tim Lynn. Are you with us? Do we have your signal? All right, again, this pursuit been going on for nearly an hour. Started in Northridge. He was wanted for reckless driving. As you can see, that's exactly what's happening on these roads. He has been driving at speeds of 100 miles an hour, sometimes a little bit over that, from what we understand. Tim trying to clock it at over 100 miles per hour. There you see CHP in pursuit of this car. They've now taken over this pursuit. LAPD with their choppers overhead as well. You'll occasionally see a spotlight on that car as the LAPD and the CHP work in conjunction together to try and get this suspect and keep track of this suspect.
And they're trying to keep track of the suspect, get the suspect to stop, and
at 105 miles an hour right now.
hold on for 5 hours, going 5 miles, and now 45 to 75 miles an hour now. And getting off the 14 freeway, let's listen now. And there's no rain at this point. There was going to be rain, but no rain at this point.
There has been some rain that has been falling in the not too distant past in this area, but this guy's still going along here, upwards of 100 miles an hour with CHP immediately behind him. At this point, of course, the airship's following him as well, and our signal is back online. And Tim Lynn, you're back.
Yeah, you can see him here still northbound on the 14 freeway coming up on the 138, which is the next intersection or cross he'll have here. He's holding that center divider, CHP behind him in that white SUV, keeping a close tabs on, but not getting too close. You see right there, because every time they get close, he starts brake checking and really causing an issue. But like I was saying, we're coming into the area where folks are getting off the freeway, slowing down to get off the 14 in the Antelope Valley, Lancaster, Palmdale area here, going northbound on the 14. And so we're encountering some slower traffic. As you see him going right back there, he's slowed down a little bit here. I'm down to about 90 miles an hour here as I pace him in Sky 5. And he's holding lanes but not making too many wild maneuvers. The ground was very slick coming up the hill there as he came over the crest into the Antelope Valley area. But right now it looks like it's kind of dried out. We are dealing with some clouds overhead here. I do see some rain falling in the distance. But right now, luckily, we don't have the rain on the freeway to cause that issue with him, as well as the speeds that he's going at to lose control. But right now, CHP in full control of the pursuit, holding back. LAPD helping out with their air unit as they continue here northbound 14, approaching. We'll get the intersection for you as he goes over. As he right on the approach for Palmdale Airport, the military base that's out here in Palmdale, and he's continuing north 14, coming up to the next overpass, and he's pushing through and passing over, I believe, Avenue O is what he's at right now as we come through the lettered streets, continuing north on the 14. Now, if he continues north on the 14, he's going to be in the desert here in about another 6 or 7 miles, and then it's on straight on up to 395 if he goes that far. But right now in the Palmdale, Lancaster proper area as he comes along, luckily traffic is
Yeah, traffic is somewhat less congested than what we saw, certainly on the surface streets in and around the Newhall Pass along the 118. But it didn't stop this guy. He was blowing through intersections, in case you just joined us, blowing through four-way stops, running into other cars to make his way through. He refused to be log jammed and forced his way through in many tight spots along Rinaldi and the valley on surface streets, in the Simi Valley as well. And now northbound on the 14, as Tim mentioned, the 395 is an option. He could take the 58 and move toward Bakersfield, or go eastbound toward the 15.
Looks like he's going to get
well, he's going to get off the freeway long before those options make themselves available. Tim, he is off the freeway now, somewhere on a surface street in Palmdale.
Off at Avenue N. N is in Nancy. Coming off to the bottom here. Let's see which way.
The worst thing you can do is get outside and try to see this guy. Stay indoors. Keep yourself safe. Up at Avenue N now, Nancy. Off at Avenue N, and he's off going left turn. So that's going to put him westbound now. He's going to come under us, so we're going to reposition here on top of the bridge that goes over the freeway. This is going to take him into the Palmdale proper area. Palmdale proper, Godey Hills, Quartz Hills as well. So if you live anywhere nearby, you've got to stay indoors. Give CHP officers a wide berth to accomplish their mission. Get this guy to pull over and just come to a complete stop. These incredible speeds on this very narrow street on the wrong side of the street there, Avenue and westbound, but looks like he's going into eastbound lanes from time to time. This could result in a deadly head-on collision. If people come out of their houses to come out in the street and take a look at the pursuit, you're putting yourself in great jeopardy. Coming up on a red light right now, see if he tries to get around these cars. No, just narrowly missed that guy. Continuing westbound Avenue N, as you can see on the wrong side of the street in eastbound lanes. This is an extremely dangerous situation for so many people here in Palmdale, Quartz Hill, Godey Hills, and the surrounding area. This is Avenue N. They just crossed 20th Street West, two of the majors in this area, 10th Street West and 20th Street West. Our friends in Palmdale, they know those areas very well. And off the nose of the helicopter, at one point, I believe 20th Street West is a dead end. It'll merge him onto another street, but at this point, westbound Avenue N, he's well west of 20th Street West, and he'll continue out to the west. Not sure where he's going to go next. These are poorly illuminated streets. Not too many street signs here, just one lane in and one lane out. One lane westbound, one lane eastbound. He continues westbound. Fortunately, the rain has eased up. We had a little light drizzle a short while ago, and at these speeds with these quick twists and turns, those could turn into deadly accidents. But the rain has eased up. We are losing the bulk of our sunlight now. It's primarily cloudy and getting darker by the minute, so it's going to be extremely dangerous. Just barely missed that car driving on the wrong side of the street, driving on the wrong side again, and that could end up in a fatal dead-end head-on collision here. Speeds estimated here, I believe you were saying 75 or 80 miles per hour. He continues on Avenue N westbound. This is 30th Street West now. We've been well past 10th Street, past 20th Street West, and now 30th Street West as we continue on Avenue N westbound. And I believe in another mile and a half, it's going to come to a dead end. He'll be forced to turn left or right, north or southbound. So again, to our friends here in Godey Hills and Quartz Hill, anywhere in Palmdale, anywhere south of Lancaster, please use extreme caution and keep yourself clear of this. On surface streets, he's estimated now at 100 miles per hour, driving on the wrong side of the road, driving right through green lights this time, but sometimes red lights, and unfortunately there's only one lane in and one lane out, so those speeds, this is incredibly dangerous for everyone involved, and I think this is going to come to a dead end here momentarily. Now they're saying 120 miles per hour for our friends in Palmdale who travel Avenue N. You know, speed limit signs are posted here. They're 35 or 40 miles per hour. Coming up on a red light, going to make that southbound turn into Quartz Hill, and he's going to slide out there. Not sure why. He may have hit a spike strip or just lost control. You come around those corners.
He lost control.
A little bit. Oh, and there's a crash. CHP tried a pit maneuver. The passenger door.
They tried a pit maneuver.
That indicates not only the driver, but perhaps a passenger in there as well. They may have set up a spike strip somewhere along the line. He appears to be losing some of that lateral stability.
Was that a CHP vehicle that hit him?
It looked like a CHP officer came in, just as he spun out of control, tried to straighten himself out. It looks like that CHP officer came in and tried to...
He's trying to straighten himself out. A suspect hit that, he hit a pedestrian. He just ran into the pedestrian.
20 miles per hour on Avenue N, 30th Street West. I think I see somebody in the passenger side. The door is open. The helicopter is right on top of that guy with their lights on. That is a law enforcement helicopter, either LAPD or CHP.
Housing complex, their doors open.
But got doors open. Oh my God, doors open.
On foot, running with a bag
He's
or
on
a jacket
foot.
of some sort. Driver continuing on.
Driver continue on.
One's going to stay with that passenger that just bailed out, and now the other one's going to stay with the car. So that first guy's not going to get away. I can see they got
That first guy is not going to get away. He's trying to straighten himself. He's trying to straighten himself out.
In the area,
He is straightening out. He's straightening himself out. And that one guy bails out.
Follow him. The lower ship will stay with the car. And now
So they'll stay with the car.
Helicopter coming over to assist the LAPD.
They're coming over to assist the LAPD.
They had a gated community, so as you know, these are all locked in to where they can't really get out. So there might be a back gate here. He's going to try to push his way through. Yep. The gate here, back out on.
Oh my God, he's pushing himself way through the gate.
Well, he certainly knows where he is. I mean, if those gates opened for him just like that into this community here in Palmdale, again, if you're just joining us, we've been on this pursuit now for since about 5:20, and
they've been on this pursuit since about 5:20, and the chase continues around 5:40 to 6:10, and who bailed out, that passenger, the person in the car who bailed out, that passenger. We don't know if it's a male or a female, Maybe it's a female, or I don't know. Maybe it's a male. Maybe it's a male. It is a male. He's back on the surface streets.
Boy, they had an opportunity there in that gated community.
They had an opportunity.
And it appears as though they're going to get that initial.
They're going to get that initial one.
Well, he's going to have a hard time now. He's
going to have a hard time.
To lose control of this truck.
He's trying to lose control of the truck. Maybe it was a spike strip.
That has performed well as this guy's been driving over 100 miles an hour for over an hour now. We saw a CHP cruiser ram into the back of him as he lost control a few moments ago on surface streets, did a complete 180. The CHP car came up behind him, rammed right into him, and frankly disabled himself. This truck able to continue on, and now we believe there is just the driver, the lone suspect in this car. It appears as though the guy who jumped out is close to being brought into custody, if he's not already. They had an airship over him inside that neighborhood. He's going to have a hard time getting away. This guy, though, continuing on these two-lane roads, and this looks as though it might even be a dirt road at this point. Hard to say where he is. Running through some serious puddles.
Purple, can I come on a bike ride?
Obviously, and you can see him driving through puddles now, having a hard time keeping control of this truck. At least, 10 minutes ago he did a 180, as we mentioned.
I'll be right back. We're gonna come back just an hour for a while. So I might turn it off. You guys, I'll be right back. We're gonna go on a bike ride. So just about 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes later, it started. 10 minutes ago, it started. Okay, let's listen now. I'll be right back.
Through that big puddle. That was just a flooded area. They had a lot of rain out here today.
You don't know about Mr. Baldwin. You don't even know about Alfred or his ex-girlfriend. Sure? You don't need to worry. Hey, enough. Maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That wasn't. Claudia. Fine. Oh, fine. Bike in the garage? Hey, look! Can I ride that bike, Papa? No. Please?
Yes, you're going to ride this bike.
No, I have to. You use your bike.
God dang it! Could I have a spin?
bike. Don't
Libby has her own
drag it.
bike. I don't know why she isn't using it. I'll take this bike. But she doesn't want it.
You're too little.
You're using Liz bike. She can use her bike.
Yeah, she's saying.
Hey, do not touch it. Listen. Hey, do not do it.
Got into the pump stuff, damn it. Where's that doing out? Put that away. Swimming pool. Who got it out?
What's that?
Are you gonna try your helmet on or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna try my helmet on.
Shut up. Stop. Put your head up. Don't cut.
I want to try my helmet on too, couple.
Your helmet on? Alright.
I want to try my
Well,
helmet
after
on.
we get your tires aired up, okay?
I want to try my helmet on too, couple.
The gate's broken.
Why?
And the key won't open.
Oh, you won't open, okay?
Can I try my helmet on, couple?
Yeah.
That one?
Does that look like your helmet?
No.
Whose helmet does that look like?
It looks like Libby's or so.
No.
Libby. I didn't bring my helmet.
The baby's helmet. Doesn't it look like the baby's helmet? Come on, let's go.
Can I ride this bike, couple? Can we go for a race?
Don't close the door. Get your bike, Mama. Get your bike. Get your bike. Get your bike. Get your bike. Get my bike. My bike. No, get your bike. Things over here. Over here, brother.
You have to wait right there because I got to know this.
Whose bike is this, couple?
Everybody's bike. Wait right there until I get back.
Wait right there, guys. Couple said. Wait, Lucian, wait. Wait. Couple said wait. Can we go on a bike ride?
What?
We're going on a bike ride? Couple? Are we going on a bike ride, couple?
Alright, now watch out.
Hey, Malaya! What are you
Albert.
Yes?
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hey, get away from that. It's dirty.
Get away from that! Listen, get away from that!
Hey.
Yes?
All right, come on this way. Hey, yeah.
Hey, man.
How you doing?
Is that your girlfriend, Malaya? Oh, hey. Papa, I didn't bring my helmet. Papa, I didn't bring my helmet.
Don't worry about it. You got a helmet?
No.
I'm going to get you one, okay?
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What? Scooter? Sorry about it. Dang it, man. I think you bears had this damn thing anymore. What you think? Go get me another, I'll come back.
Libby, go get the helmet for Beber.
There, man. Put your head up.
Can you put this thing up?
What bike is even Albert using?
Out of there.
Tricycle?
Huh?
Bike? Pop's bike?
What?
Pop's tricycle.
Neck up.
Papa,
I
which
wanna
car are you gonna
sniff
use?
your...
No. Hey, where's the babies? What the? What the? Hey! Straight up! Straight up! Okay. Hey, there's the car. more bike rides, or else no more bike rides for the rest of the week. What about the two? That one? Today we're gonna go on a bike. Are those two filled up?
What?
You're filled up?
Yeah.
Does Albert know how to ride a bike?
You gotta ride this one.
I know how to ride this one.
It's getting beautifully warm, huh?
It's not cold, Pupple? It's not cold, Pupple?
It is actually really hot.
Pupple, it's not cold, Pupple?
It's kind of cold.
And it's hot?
No, it's pretty hot.
It's hot, Pupple?
It's pretty hot, Zooey-Doo.
It's not cold anymore? Not anymore, Pupple?
It's gonna be cold every night.
But not this morning, too?
Luckily.
It wasn't this morning.
It warmed up pretty nice. Good morning. Beautiful Sunday.
Mosquitoes are right there, Papa.
Nancy.
Albert,
messing with the chain, John.
it has to go right here.
Stop messing with that chain, James. You're living.
Albert, I know how to do it. You have to put the thing on the thing so it moves.
He's gonna
It
oil.
doesn't need an oil, Albert.
Yes, it
This
does.
right here, the chain needs to get on this. It does not.
It doesn't work. I told you.
Yeah, because we did with the chain.
Couple, can you oil these chains for me, Couple?
What?
Can you oil these chains?
Okay, don't mess with it.
Yeah, James keeps messing with it.
Don't mess with it, guys.
Yeah, James, don't mess with it.
I can't ride this.
Just raise it up for you.
Where's the shed?
Oh, no, look at it, baby. Fresh earth growing.
Stop.
Hey, quit messing with it. Messing with it.
Watch the baby.
We are possible.
Watch the babies, James.
Albert, you are the oldest one here. You need to wash your babies too.
We are. I am. You're not go on the sidewalk, guys. Why you guys? You can't go on the sidewalk. You guys got to go on the sidewalk.
No, it's special training. Albert, we've trained for years, Albert.
I've been trained for years.
No, you have not. You can't ride a regular bike.
Yes, I can.
Okay, try to ride my bike. Come on.
I'm waiting for Papa to oil this chain.
Drop that very quick and try to ride this thing.
It has no chain light. These oil chains. Guys, listen, Bear, stay on the sidewalk.
Albert, what's up?
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. On that sidewalk.
Turn the sidewalk?
Yeah. Don't go on that road. Car's coming, guys.
Get out!
Come on, get these babies, Papa.
Hey. There, come on. Never look.
Hey, hey, don't do it, Lucian. chance, Lucian.
Attack you.
Hey! Don't do it! Get alone! I'm just gonna rip your ear off!
James did it.
Stop, guys!
James, keep doing that.
Birdie, go over here so there won't be a traffic jam. This way. Go right there. Go into there. Birdie. Over here. Go. Lucian, watch out.
Hey, watch out, Lucian!
Birdie, go into there. Lucian, you can come. Birdie, you're safe. Just go.
I'm sorry, River.
No coming. Albert, lock her up. I'm coming. Move the tricycle this way.
Is that a tricycle, that one?
I said move it this way. Alright, you won't be hurt.
James!
Lucian!
Are you putting the oil in the tank?
I gotta oil the tank.
That's the tire?
Little
River!
I'll go this way.
River! Don't go on that!
Alright, we gotta pump up with
The tank needs to be oiled.
Verdi, come on, we're gonna go. Verdi!
Damn! Verdi! Get back here! Get here!
What happened? James! James!
Lucian! Get over here right now! Get over here right now, Lucian! Hello. Good afternoon.
Take off your jacket. That's not why. Off your jacket.
It ain't no winter time no more. Yeah. Can we start a bike race, Papa? Papa, can we start a bike race?
Start a bike race.
Yeah, bike race.
Bike race?
Bike race. Bike race.
I'm gonna win.
When we get to the school. corner. So we don't have nowhere to put no nothing here. Let's go. Stop.
Papa, what about the...
They're gonna have to. We're gonna have to walk. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, I can't walk.
Yeah, we're gonna walk. Get out.
Go.
No, I don't want to.
You can't drive. You can't drive.
Go. All dirty.
Get out. Get out. Yeah, ready.
Push it.
Your sister's got the skateboard, so we can walk till we get across the street.
Papa, what about the chain?
What?
What about the
on
chain?
the tricycle is unbroken. The shed.
What about the chains, Papa?
Oh, I got a the chain.
No, you don't, Papa, don't.
Yes, we have to! Yes, they have to! Yes! Yes! Hey! Hey! Now! Lucian! You're gonna break it!
What?
Leave that alone, James!
Don't touch it.
It has to be oil, James! What is wrong with you, James? James! It needs to be oil! Just wait, James! Libby!
I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking at it.
We have to wait!
I know, Albert. I'm gonna wait. I'm just looking at it.
It needs to be oil, James!
I know. I'm just looking at it. Hey, don't step on my shoes.
That's a Jeep.
Stop.
Where are you going? No! Stop! Hey! Hey! Stop! Hey! Hey! Stop! Hey! Stop! Hey! Come back! Jay! Come back! What is wrong with you? What? Stop! Leave it alone! Get off! You're messing with it!
Get out.
Get out! Now!
Slowly drive in here. Go. I'm just trying to...
Hey, turn around! Turn around! Turn the wheel!
So you know how to drive?
Hey, get off! No!
I'm not doing anything.
Stop! Stop!
Stop.
Hopple! Hopple! Hopple!
Albert.
James is sitting on that bike. I need that one to be changed. The chain.
So?
Yeah, I need to change it. Not that oil. Hey, get out of there!
Oh fuck. No.
Albert, what the heck did I do?
Talking about mouth.
Sorry, Papa.
You think you're smart?
No.
I don't think so.
This way?
That's what you're talking about. No, mouth.
Back?
Damn it. Fucking goddamn it. Fucking goddamn it.
No, you're not. I don't want to
Fucking roll around on it. Now look at this motherfucker.
Fly, okay, I will. Oh, this way.
This way.
Start spinning it.
Okay.
That way and back.
Okay. Stop, stop. Stop, don't press it.
Keep going. Hurry up.
Move over. Come on, Bear. Submission. Hey! Bear! Bear! Here, Bear. Alright.
What are you doing with me?
That way, you get out.
Okay, now turn. Turn this way. Okay, stop. Listen, you don't want to get back. Now we're driving.
Now, Albert, I don't want you switching no gears. You understand what I'm saying?
All you do, Albert, all you do is just drive this. Do not move any of these. You want to know why? Move back.
Because you don't. You just
Or I'm
don't.
going to have to do a whole bunch of stuff.
You don't till you're 18. You don't start switching gears.
All you do, Albert, is just go right here. Do not move onto this. Just stay right on this. Do not go to this. Do not go like this. Go to this.
And hit the brakes?
Stop the brake. So just like this.
All right, now go this way.
Here you go. Go to the sidewalk. It's like, Albert, are we going to the road? No,
Not going into the road. What? Where are you?
He doesn't even know how to drive.
All right, let's go. Drive.
Come on, let's go. There, are you ready?
You know?
Turn it around.
Stop, you gotta break the door. No, ready, go to the trunk. Ready, go to the trunk. She didn't teach me.
Okay, let me find
Go, Bear, don't.
He wants to walk.
You wanna walk? Alright, there, you wanna drive? Whoa, Bear. You're not excited? No, Libby.
Not this dark, but
Come on, little Zeus. Alright, you can go. There's the park area. You gonna drive? Are you lying? Because I'll take that bike away from you for a whole month.
No, James did it.
What?
No.
James, you turn that
No,
light.
you didn't.
Huh? I want to know the truth. You did it.
Okay. Sorry,
I
buddy.
was trying to turn it off because it was on, but he wouldn't let me. Because he was riding it.
Oh, really?
I told him to stop because he said I had to turn it
Who's
off.
you?
Where's my bear? Where's my bear?
She's right there on the
There.
side.
I turned it off, Papa.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I turned it off, Papa.
Lucien, don't go up in there. You're going to hurt yourself. She left.
Oh, you're gonna
Hey, get down.
get down there, monkey.
Get down.
Back up. No, you can't go in there. Get out. You're not going in there. No, you don't have to. You're not going in there.
Papa, can I go play on the slide?
Yeah, go. Albert, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. All right, go ahead. Stay back.
Put it down, Lucian!
helmet on.
Huh?
Why'd you take it off for? You riding the bike, you're riding the helmet. Starting back.
Bear, Bear, come on. No, Bear.
Put it on the other way.
The other way. Bear, we're gonna go home. Bear, no, we're going home.
He wants to go home. There we go. Remember, not ready to go. Go play.
You still have time? Oh my gosh, 20 minutes.
guy.
Okay. Coming.
No, we're not going.
Hey! I'm not going yet. Come on.
Except for this has to light. Because if you don't need it, use it. So you can go with it.
Where's your skateboard at?
I left it.
Right, Albert, right. I want you to get any exercise.
I'm ready to ride. Okay, I'm coming.
No. You need a lesson?
No!
You need a lesson.
They said so. I can take off if I had to.
Albert, please stop the vehicle. I will have to arrest you for 20 years. Stop the vehicle. Now. Stop the vehicle. I will arrest you if you do not stop. You are on arrest for 2 years. So, Albert, let's stop.
Yes, I had to. Yes, I had to. I had to. I had to. Now, it's off my hand. What do I do?
You are under arrest.
No.
Get off the bike.
I'm going to.
Get off the bike.
All right.
Why
Why did you do that?
Get off the bike.
No.
Okay, guys, we're going to You will be arrested for 20 years. Stop the vehicle. Stop the vehicle now.
No. I have to.
Yeah. Looks like
Papa, where are we going? Papa, where are we going?
Puppy, Ruby doesn't want to go on the back. Every single second she'll turn out to different things.
No. can't win, huh? Cash out of there. Where's your sister at? No, she's not. She's still playing. She doesn't want to leave yet.
We have time, Papa? We have time, Papa?
Ready to go.
We have time, Papa?
Daddy, come on, let's go.
We still have more time, Papa? We still have more time, Papa?
Yeah, go.
Birdie can hop in that thing, can't she? Hop in that thing for those cells. Kinda, it's really tall. How is she gonna fall if someone goes very slow? Albert, he's gonna go fast. Definitely he's gonna go fast. If someone goes slow on that, they are.
Oh my God. Loose! Come here, let me try. Bear! Bear's gonna go get Bear right now.
Birdie.
Go get her, she's gonna step on her dress, getting up them steps. Hurry up. If she falls down, I swear to God.
She's gonna hurt herself.
And that's gonna hurt that high.
All right, just help her, let her go in. Bear. Lucian. Come here, Luce.
James, you do it all the time.
I don't want you putting your hands on little girls.
Albert, it's not funny.
I'm not going to tell you again. Come on, let's go. Come on, James. Come on, Bear, let's go.
Lucien,
Where are we going, Libby?
we're going, Lucien.
Where are we going, Libby?
We're going home.
We're going home. Put that stick down! Not down, then.
I want to teach
Hey, put it down!
Come on, give me that stick.
Hey! Not playing.
Let's go.
Let's go!
Get in the car. You worry about yourself. Stay behind me. Go, Verdi, let's go. down that way. Stay behind me. Better watch out. Watch out, Albert. Watch where you're going.
Okay. Thank you. I'm coming.
Watch that street. Drive where you're going. Go. Where you're parking.
Can I park in the parking lot? Where the gate, Papa?
Put it on the front.
No, not yet, not yet, not yet. Albert, watch out!
on the bike.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Today, and that's what happens. But now I believe this is Avenue N8 that he's back eastbound on, and it's a back road. It looks like it's not paved at points, and as you can see, blasted through there. But he's coming up to a major paved road ahead of him. He really did a lot of spinning around coming through that mud, and now here he comes spinning out around this corner here. This will take him back out on the paved. This is picking up now, going back to the north. Now around back to the south here on this major road, and see he spun out a little bit coming around the corner, so I'm hoping that CHP car did a little damage to him as he rammed him there at that intersection. As he came around the corner, lost control, spun around, and they got 30th Street West is what we're on right now, heading back to the south, 30th Street West. And the other car, they're still looking for the other subject that bailed out in that gated community, and I bet you he's not going to get away because I see police cars all over that community. But now we're southbound here, continuing on. He's just moving right along with nobody out in front of him, but it's just a wild pursuit, and he's just all over the valley out here. So where he's going to end up, we don't know. It doesn't look like he has an idea unless he had an idea of what was in that community right there, but he came up to the gate, and normally they just blast to the gate, but he luckily stopped and waited for them to push through and let the gate open, and then he went out, and then he popped out a gate on the east side of that complex and worked his way out that way. So unbelievable how this guy is working his way along here, along the streets of Lancaster over here, right up against the hills of Lancaster on the west side, wrong side of the street here, coming up through this intersection, and through the intersection now, you see, that's the county sheriff's doing a traffic break. That's what they'll do. They'll get out ahead, turn on their lights in the intersection to keep the drivers in the area aware that something's coming their way. It stops traffic. It allows that car to get through without hitting anybody on a T intersection. That's one thing they really got to watch out for as they come through, because it's, like I said, on surface streets, everything is in play. You have pedestrians, cross traffic, all kinds of things that he can run into, and they'll do that. It's one of the things they do.
Where you're going, those unpaved roads are very
He's
difficult to
wanted
find.
for felony hit and run.
And this is 25th Street West. Here comes the pit maneuver, and
Here comes the pit
excellent.
maneuver.
Almost spun him out of control. And there he goes. We'll try another one here momentarily to keep him spinning out of control. He's going to continue on Rancho Vista Boulevard eastbound. That's the second pit maneuver we've seen. He hits another car, comes to a stop, pull the camera out wide. Police in case it gets violent. He's going to come out of that car in a moment. A couple of things could happen. If he complies with officers, then everything will be fine. If he doesn't comply with officers, things can get a little bit dicey. So he's in the car. He's not gotten out just yet. That guy knows what to do. Get out of the way.
Out of the way, trying to get them
Oh my God, he hit that car.
He's buried into is just stuck. That poor guy right there, he's right in the line of fire. And now that's what the CHP officers here have to deal with, is not only their safety as well as the safety of that driver in that car as they come. Hopefully that driver just gets out of his car, takes off running, that's what I'd recommend to do. Is if you're stuck in a situation like this, just get out, take off, run to the side. It looks like he's popping out of the car, and there you go. Very good, excellent, way to go. Bail out of the car, get out of the line of fire. Now they got to clean the area here. They're going to get cars behind him to block traffic off, to get everybody out of the way. Now, we don't know if this guy is armed or not, but you have to run with that in your mind, that he is armed. He has given everything he can to get away. Now he's crashed, he's stuck, and now we're in a standoff, and time is on the officers' hands at this point. They can take as long as they need to bring this situation to a close, and now they're just trying to control the area. You see the county sheriff's unit coming in behind, blocking traffic, and up ahead they have units up ahead trying to block traffic off ahead to clear off that street. And there's still quite a bit of traffic on that street because you have folks just confused on what they need to do. But the county sheriffs are going to take care of the roads for them to clear out the area here so they can have a clean line behind him, because the last thing you want to do is injure somebody back behind him.
The last thing you do, okay, get out of the car. Get out of the crossfire. Get away from the crossfire. Let the CHP officers handle it. Let the police handle it. Let the CHP officers take care of it. Let the cops take care of it and handle it. Let the police take care of it. Let the cops take care of it. And you know, they're trying to go around the scene of that police chase where it ended. And that is the vehicle that the police were chasing for around 15 to 20 minutes. Chase started right around 5:07, and it's been going on for quite some time. 5:20 p.m. this evening. They stayed on it the entire time. Earlier, he crashed into the car, and that was the end of the police chase. And they had their weapons drawn, and they were doing a pit maneuver. No. Oh my God. So anyway, thanks for watching. Check out this video, pops up here. Yeah. Check out this video, pops up here. That one. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next video later on tonight. I'll see you in the next video later on tonight. Bye guys. I'll leave you this afternoon with a police chase video reaction. Let's listen now.
Well, we're hearing the CHP and the sheriffs talk about movement in the truck, and they have cleared off that downrange area behind him, so they're good there. And now they're dealing with him. We're at the intersection of Highland and Rancho Vista. Highland and Rancho Vista is the intersection he's sitting at right there. And they're just trying to work with him on the bullhorns. We're listening to him on the radio talk, and they're talking about movement in there. So I got a feeling that with the way this guy has been driving, his ability or his trying to get away from these cops, trying to push his way through traffic and giving just everything he can to get away, I got a feeling he'd disable his vehicle here. If not, he'd be in reverse trying to back off that car. But he hit it pretty good. It stuck that left front corner, right into his radiator. So hopefully it's disabled, and now we're dealing with the standoff right now. I'm looking up to the east, and it's blocked off by the county sheriffs up ahead. So clean intersection right now. They're doing their best to get everybody out of the way. And like I said before, time is on the officers' side now. They can take as much time as they need to work with this. As you see in prior pursuits like this, they'll start bringing in the Special Enforcement Bureau from LA County Sheriffs, or SEB. They'll bring in their Bearcats, those big armored vehicles, and just block him in and able to contain that vehicle and keep him from getting away or moving out of there, taking that option away from him. And then they can pull one right up next to him and look straight in at him through the bulletproof glass. And then if it gets to a point, they can deploy a chemical agent into that car to get him to come out if he decides not to do that. But hopefully that'll happen down the road. Right now they're just going to do verbal, trying to get him out, calling to him, trying to get him to give up. But
it kind of looks right now, from my experience in situations like this, both as a police officer and as a media pilot, once we've gone this long, he's pretty made the decision he's going to stick right there. And this is probably going to go for the long haul. So I'm sure LA County Sheriffs have already put out the call for Special Enforcement Bureau to come out with their specialized equipment to get in behind this guy and block him in. And then once they come on scene, they'll take it over from the CHP. And once SWAT or Special Weapons is involved, they take total control so they can maintain command of the scene. And then, like I said, they'll block him off with the Bearcats, and then if necessary, use chemical weapons to get him to come out. But right now, they're not in any hurry to rush up there, grab him, or do what you sometimes see on TV where they race up and grab him out of the car. That's not going to be done at this point. They're just going to hold back. They got an eye on him. They got him surrounded. There's nowhere he can go. Doing exactly what they've been trained to do, and just holding back, assessing the situation, getting all the information they can, possibly get this guy on the phone if they get a hold of a cell phone for him, because that is the latest thing that they do, is to work on trying to talk to him on a cell phone, to talk to him, to get him to come out. So
Tim, he lost his will to run. We're watching this replay of the pit maneuver. He wasn't going up more than 30, 40 miles an hour when that officer came up on his rear right and executed that pit maneuver. From the way he's been driving over the last hour, he never would have let him get that close 15, 20 minutes ago. He apparently lost his will to run.
Yeah, something must have happened, as you said. Either, something with the car or something inside happened with him, because when you saw him kind of just roll through that intersection, it was so unlike what we've been watching for the last hour, where he would have just tried to get on the other side of the road and just make his way to keep getting away. It's been a wild pursuit. That certainly is true. He's crashed into cars. He's gone from the San Fernando Valley all the way here to Palmdale, and now we're just, as you see there earlier, two of the people that were in that car that he hit running off. Just a really frightening situation for everybody involved. The last hour or so, an hour and a half almost, from the San Fernando Valley all the way here now to Palmdale.
Tim, the scenario you described, all of them, those are going to take some time. We understand that the Sheriff's Department SWAT team is on the way, and the Bearcat you mentioned, the remote control vehicle, all of those scenarios, that's some time. I mean, we're out there. We're way out in Palmdale.
That's right. And I don't know if they station the Bearcats, the big mobile vehicles, or the big armored vehicles that they have out here in the Antelope Valley. But most of the time those boys come out of East LA up to this location, so it'll take them quite a while to get up here. But more than likely, they have some assets here in the valley due to the location and just the sheer distance from headquarters, where SWAT is based. But we have heard on the information from over the radio that the armored car is en route to come up here. You can see other cars arriving, a detective unit there, and then supervisor units arriving. And so they're getting ready to set up the command post, getting ready to go for the long haul, as you say. And this is not going to be over anytime soon. He's already made up his mind that he's going to stick in that car, and it's going to be up to the Sheriff's Department here to convince him to get out. But it's all up to him right now. He can end this very easily. Just get out of the car, follow the directions of the deputies, and this thing would be over. But if he insists on sitting in there, they're going to continue on with their procedures to get him out. So we're in it for the long haul right now, as we have this standoff here at Rancho Vista in Highland here in Lancaster.
So Tim, they're on the loudspeaker, and we have to believe they're trying to get a hold of this guy on a cell phone, if they indeed know who he is at this point. All of those things, clearly he's not responding to anything yet. As you did mention, the authorities noticed some movement in the truck. So this guy, plotting his next move, although he doesn't have many choices at this point other than just surrender. Have you heard on the radio whether they caught up with the other guy that bailed out of this truck in that gated community?
No, they switched off to another frequency, and I'm not hearing that frequency now. We're kind of dealing with this one here, kind of don't want to stay on top of this. But The way that the county sheriffs were protecting the areas and coming into the area, they fully knew well what was going on. What they do is they parallel the pursuit. They'll just track it on the outside, and as soon as they went into that gated community, I'm really surprised there wasn't a deputy sheriff blocking the exit that he came out of, but the LAPD air unit was right over the top of it, stayed with that guy as he bailed out. And usually, if you got an air unit on you with a searchlight as you run, you're not going to get too far. And the LA County Sheriff's helicopter came in over the top of the LAPD helicopter on the passenger and was directing his ground units in as well. So my guess is that guy didn't get very far, and I've not heard that he's in custody yet. Maybe we can have our Simon desk check with the county sheriffs on that, but we switched away from that one to stay with the pursuit here. So right now, this is what we have, just a standoff, and going to be here for quite a while until they get all their assets in position to make the next move.
Obviously, live in the area of Avenue N in a gated community. The warning is out tonight to stay inside, lock your windows, and lock your doors. There is a potentially dangerous suspect that may still be on the loose that jumped out of this pickup truck after going, on a long high-speed chase from the San Fernando Valley to the Simi Valley and then up into the Palmdale area at speeds over 100 miles an hour. He jumped out just in the last 10 minutes of this pursuit in a gated community with something in his hand, whether it was a jacket or a bag, we couldn't tell. And off he ran into that gated community, probably into somebody's backyard. But again, if you're in the area, lock your windows and doors tonight.
Certainly a frightening situation for any of those people that might be in that gated community. Again, be careful and be vigilant to what we're reporting here. In the meantime, as we are overhead, Sky 5 and Tim Lynn overhead here with the driver of this car and a standoff now as we wait to see him come out here and get into custody.
You are watching the KTLA 5 News at 6:30 now. I'm Micah Ullman with Tim Lynn and Sky 5. We've been over this since about 5:15.
They're not gonna do anything at that point. Wait for those guys, the guys who are trained and has the equipment to be able to get up there and the body armor to be able to get up there. They're not gonna do anything at that point. Wait for those guys, the guys who are trained and has the equipment to be able to get up there and the body armor to be able to get up there. The car is obviously disabled. He buried it in pretty deep into that car that was in the left-hand turn pocket, smashed in and went deep into the engine compartment. You can see right there as we push in just a little tighter, so that more likely disabled. And the way he went through the intersection, you were talking about it being very slow and deliberate. After a while, you drive these cars and you do you start heating up the brakes and you start getting what's called brake fade, to where you just smash on the brakes and nothing happens. So at that point, he was probably losing his brakes, and after that pit maneuver, it probably unnerved him just a little bit to where he wasn't able to get the speeds back up, but then realizing that he didn't have any brakes, and as slowly as he rolled across the way, it just went right into that car and didn't even attempt to go around it. It just to me seems like he was having difficulties in the car, and as well as just had enough of this, because this pursuit went on for well over an hour or so. As we went through high speeds through the 14, up over the hill and all that driving, we took out the 118 out in the Simi Valley, all the way out, and then turned around in Sycamore and came back, doing the same thing again off into Porter Ranch. So this has been a long playing pursuit, bailing out in that private community, gated community here in Lancaster, and then continuing on, finally come to a crash here. So he may have just given up just a little bit, like you said, or he could have had an issue with the car, or who knows what that first CHP car that just ran into the back of him as he came around that corner, spun out, and then straightened out. The CHP officer, the white SUV, ran into the back of him, causing that damage you see on the tailgate. So, anything can happen here. We're just going to have to sit and wait to see what happens.
That CHP cruiser got the worst of that collision. He did some damage to the back of that pickup, but that CHP car was going nowhere after that hit. Maybe his brakes failed. But now it comes to the point where you start asking questions. I mean, this guy's going to end up in custody. What could he possibly be waiting for? But then those are standoff tactics that law enforcement is trained in. How do you rationalize with irrational behavior? It's been irrational since they started chasing him. So what's to assume that he's going to suddenly snap back to it now and start to think clearly or make good decisions? Because it's been a series of bad decisions to this point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, dealing with folks like this, you just don't know what to deal with, what's going to happen. So, like I said, you plan for every possible activity by that suspect. Is he going to bail out, shoot at you? Is he going to bail out, take off running? Or is he just going to sit there and wait for you to get him out? I mean, who knows? I mean, we've had him at the end here where the suspect takes his own life after he realizes that he's not getting away, and who knows what's going on in their head, and they just end their life right at that point. But they've seen movement in the truck, so we don't have that situation right now. Right now, all we have is a standoff with a guy in the truck holding his own. As you said, tinted windows. We're looking down the left side of the car right here. Cannot see in. They can probably get a little bit of a silhouette from the lights shining in, the bright spotlights they're using. Getting a bit of a silhouette bounce back from there, but other than that, they're pretty much in the dark on the ground as about what's going on inside that car. They can only sit and wait and react to whatever he does. So, hopeless situation for the guy. As I said, and I always say on these, it's up to him. He can just get out, give up, and this situation would be over. He'd be on his way to the hospital or on his way to jail. But you can see the intersection just filling up with police cars as SWAT team members arrive in their cars, and we should be seeing the armored vehicles showing up pretty soon coming from the area. This is kind of giving me indication they don't have one out here in the Antelope Valley because it's taken quite a while for them to get here. And if they're coming from the East LA area, it's who knows. That's going to take them a couple hours to get out this far at this time of night. So right now they're just going to keep switching off the air units overhead that keeps the light down, and they're here mainly for the point of if he bails out running, they give the officers a chance to keep their distance as he's running, hoping he beds down and be able to pin him in and then find him with a canine, versus getting into a straight out foot pursuit with this guy, because you don't know if he's armed or not. You don't want to get yourself out there in the wide open and have this guy suddenly turn around with a gun and start firing at you, and you have nowhere to go. But on the freeway, we were watching him as the CHP officers got a little bit close to him. He started brake checking, stomping on the brakes for no reason. There's nobody in front of him, but he'd get on the brakes really hard. That police unit would come up really close behind him, and as I was saying during that point, that's what suspects have been known to do, is let the police car get really close and just jam on the brakes and let them rear end them, and then causing the airbag in the police car to go off into the driver's lap, and then it makes it very difficult for that officer to continue pursuit with a deployed airbag in his lap. And we've had that happen several times that I know of in my police career, and now we saw it here where he just kind of brake checked him real quick. Not know if that's exactly what he was trying to do, but he did it 2 or 3 times in the pursuit, so it was a direct, deliberate act, and no reason to be on the brakes like that. So, we're just going to sit here, and he's going to dictate what's going to happen, and eventually once the SWAT team arrives, then at that point, they'll dictate what happens when they bring those Bearcats in.
No sign of any willingness to surrender at this point, but not a surprise that this ended shortly after the passenger jumped out of that truck. I mean, who knows what's going on as they're both in the truck. They're encouraging one another, perhaps, and the dynamic changes when you're all alone, and it was just a couple of minutes after that guy jumped out that this driver ended up in this predicament, and now continuing to defy the orders of law enforcement at this point. LAPD initiated this pursuit. CHP eventually took over, again, over 100 miles an hour for long stretches on the 118 freeway, and then again on the 14 freeway through Agua Dulce and Acton, and there you see the videotape on the left side of your screen of this pursuit as played out, and this guy driving as desperately as anything we have seen to get away, and did so for over an hour, again over 100 miles an hour on the freeway, but the dynamic changed when his accomplice jumped out. Again, no word on whether he has been brought into custody at this point, but jumped out not too far from where this ended in a gated community that borders Quartz Hill there in Palmdale. Again, if you're in that area, windows and doors locked, you know the drill. There is the potential for a suspect to be very, very dangerous and on the loose in that neighborhood. So if you hear the police helicopters overhead, that is no doubt what they're up to, looking for the guy that was riding shotgun in this pickup truck for the better part of an hour on the freeways of Los Angeles. This guy driving and stopping at nothing, and there's the videotape of that guy jumping out. He had something in his hand. The driver continued on and lost control. The roads were slick out there in the Antelope Valley, and there you see the vehicle clearly disabled as it rolls through the intersection and into that stopped car that had two civilians in it. They have since gotten out of that car. The only thing left from that scene now is the suspect behind the wheel, who remains behind the wheel. We don't know of anything other than a small fire that they're reporting he may have set inside that truck since it's been disabled. Tinted windows all the way around, can't see in, don't know what this guy's up to. Unclear as to whether they've been able to get a hold of him on a cell phone. There's the two civilians running out of that car and clearing the scene for officers who now have a clear shot at this guy if he tries anything funny. He's gone through a series of bad decisions to get himself to this point. Obviously, taking your own life is never the answer, but these officers have to be ready for anything as they continue on this standoff now here at the intersection of Rancho Vista and Highland in Palmdale on surface streets. This pursuit going from dusk into darkness, primarily on that 14 freeway for the longest stretch, and this guy driving on the shoulder of the freeway, so very dangerous, along a stretch of highway that is dangerous in itself. It's two lanes. There's often high crosswinds as you go through the Acton Agua Dulce area heading toward Palmdale, but he managed to get himself to Palmdale and onto surface streets where he is now in a standoff. But I can hear Tim in the chopper now with an update. Tim?
That's right, Micah. We just spoke with one of the law enforcement helicopters overhead, and they report that the passenger was taken into custody. The person was chased by the LAPD second helicopter, which directed the sheriff's unit in on him. And they're reporting that it was a female. It kind of looked like a male to me bailing out of the car, but they said it was possibly a female. But the passenger is in custody with LA County Sheriffs in that housing track we saw where he went through the gate and then bailed out and took off running. So that's good news here. Now they'll use that person for intel on this guy to figure out who this is in the car. They'll possibly get a cell phone number for him to call into this person to get them to set up a line of communications, which is very important in this situation. But yeah, that passenger being in custody is a great help to the law enforcement as far as collecting intel on the driver, trying to figure out who he is, what his motivations are, is he armed, what's in the car, is there anybody else in the car? Because there very well could be somebody in that car laying down in the back. I mean, if you want to push it all the way out, you may even have a hostage in the back seat for all you know. And laying down on the floor. But that's going a little bit far out. But that's things that officers here at the scene have to deal with. And now that they have that passenger in custody, they're going to pump that person for information to figure out what this guy's mindset is, what he's capable of doing, and how to go as far as getting a line of communications into that car, and possibly even getting a family member on the line trying to talk this guy out. So a good source of information by getting that second person into custody back in the housing track by LAPD helicopter directing the sheriffs in on that guy.
So the initial want on this from LAPD, as we're learning, he was driving at a high rate of speed on the opposite side of the road at Satacoy and Topanga. So he was driving like a nut long before he was being pursued. Officers saw that. Then they went after him, did the LAPD. And that went on for a time before the CHP took over as the lead agency. And they remained in charge of this essentially until the point that we see it now, which is this standoff. We know that these agencies often work together, especially in a situation like this, where the scene is contained, and they have this, what they believe to be one individual in the truck. But Tim has been pointing this out as we go along here. You've got to be ready for anything. You just don't know what's in there. And the minute you assume one thing, something else happens. At this point, we believe that there were only two suspects, one of which is now in custody. He jumped out of the truck, he or she, a few moments before this ended with that pit maneuver and the collision that you see there on screen left. But again, on screen right, live picture, as we wait for the SWAT team to come and engage the suspect with different tactics. What they've done to this point hasn't worked. They're trying to get a hold of this guy. There you go. Now we're seeing some sort of change. The windows come down, and he's sticking his hand out the window.
Well, you can see a flame in there. He's in the passenger, he's in the driver's seat, and you can see a little bit of a flame, and then smoke comes out of the windows. It's partially down. Rear-ended this vehicle very, very hard. Thank goodness not injured. You can see a lot of smoke coming out of that truck right now. Unclear what this is all about. That's a lot more than possibly him smoking something, like very much more. Yes, it is. I'm going to see, maybe we can move around just a little bit. We're going to try to move around just a little bit. You have to excuse that right there. We're going to move around a little bit and see what we can see, what's going on there. I didn't hear them deploy any type of non-lethal weapon, but that is an unusual amount of smoke right there from that vehicle. We're going to move around just a little bit and see what we can see. Also, it seems like the dash is the window. I thought maybe it was fogged up because of the weather. But a very unusual situation, and this just gets more and more bizarre as this pursuit progresses. Well, you know, Pat Paul, if you look very carefully, you can actually see red glow popping up, and there it goes again inside that vehicle. And like you said, basically confirming what they're hearing. This guy is starting to set fire to parts inside his vehicle. I'm not sure what he's setting fire to, but there's definitely a fire, or he's lighting things on fire inside that vehicle with the windows rolled up. Extremely bizarre. I mean, this little black car, we've later learned 2 people in that car. You can just imagine sitting there waiting for a left turn. Here's this full-size pickup truck. Bam, right into the front of the vehicle. And then to make it even more scary and bizarre, all of a sudden officers from the California Highway Patrol yelling, "Get out of the vehicle, get out of the vehicle," with their guns out. This is where we sit now. Rancho Vista Boulevard, Palmdale, at Avenue 25. And you can see the standoff continues. Seat, and you can see a little bit of a flame, and then smoke comes out of the windows. It's partially down on the driver's side. I've moved Sky 5 up just a little bit so we get more. You see an arm out the window right there. Door coming open, door coming open. We're going to widen out here just in case there's a problem. But as he's getting out, he's crawling on the ground, and it looks like he might be complying at this point. But yeah, he's laying flat on his face, laying down and crawling sideways. So at this point, we'll see what he does. He looks like he's giving up, crawling towards the officer, which I'm sure they're not directing him to do. Normally you would have him stand up and walk backwards towards you, but he is crawling backwards. Maybe he's injured from this crash, who knows. But kind of doing a weird crawl backwards here. Looks like a male with a black t-shirt, short black pants on, black shoes. And we're staying wide just in case something happens here, because we don't want to put anything on TV that may be an issue. But right now it looks like he's trying to comply, works his way back towards the officers. You can see the officers are not in any hurry to rush up there and grab him. They're going to get him in a position of their advantage, not get themselves out from behind too much cover, because this guy could wait for them to do that, roll over, and start opening fire. So with his strange behavior up to this point, with the things that he's been doing, you got to be ready for everything. So right now it looks like they're stopping. It looked like they started to have him bring up his shirt. That's one of the things that they'll do to kind of look under the waistband. But I can kind of see a waistline there as he's walking now. There, canine coming up from behind there. You see the officer with the canine walking up behind the officers that are giving the directions, but he's crawling backwards, which is kind of good. He's complying. That's good for him. And that's the best thing he could be doing. The same question they asked the inside. They have him in custody. talking to the subject, trying to get him information from him on what's going on in that car.
Driver wanted for reckless driving in custody tonight. Both individuals in that truck